So today we're going to talk a little bit about how to get your team doing the right things the right way and how to motivate them. So the sessions for founders and CEOs building real businesses. Look, it's great for your leadership team as well, and we're going to share this presentation with you so you can share it with your team. But it is particularly focused at you guys as being CEOs and founders. I just want you to have a look at this screen. And what I'd like you to do, if you don't mind, think about yourselves and just throw into the chat, if you can, which of these, if not more than one of these, actually applies to you and your business. What do you reckon?
Yeah, for me, I'd have to say I'm probably the bottleneck and I don't know how to fix it.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that the other day, didn't we, Christian?
Yeah, we did.
Some of what we're going to be doing today will help you fix it. Anybody else? Throw something in the chat.
Sorry, Jonathan, I thought I'll include my son. This is Samuel.
Hey, Samuel.
He's the director of sales and property management at Cortez. So I thought it might be a good idea to get him to see what I'm doing.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. Welcome, Sam.
Thank you, John.
Okay. A number of you just come up in the chat and essentially said they see themselves as the bottleneck. And I think that's one of the critical things here is you're not alone. Whenever I start talking to groups like today or my clients when they join, always CEOs and founders say the same thing. It's hard to scale a business. It's lonely to scale a business, as a number of you I've spoken to know. But I want you all to realize you're not alone in this. This is some interesting stats. Scott Tanis, a friend of mine, he built a business called Western Financial Group in Canada. And he sold it in 2013 for, just let me have a look, I think it was $460 million, like significant business. After that, he went and did some study to work out, he had a gut feel, and what he came up with was this concept of the valleys of death. So this is US figures from about 2015. So they're a bit old, but I'm going to bring them up to date in Australian terms. 28 million firms in America at that time. Only 4% ever got past $1 million in revenue. Think that through for a moment. Only 4% ever got past $1 million in revenue. Now, I know there's a number of people on this call who are already there. Only 0.4% of businesses in the US ever got past 10 million in revenue. And only 17,000 firms in America ever got past 50 million in revenue. Those numbers are quite staggering when you think about it. When I started digging into it, what I found was that, this is my additional piece of the research, a lot of this equates to the number of FTEs in your business. As soon as a business hit 10 FTEs, everything gets too hard. And the CEO founder doesn't know how to deal with it. At a million plus 25 FTEs, 10 million plus 100 FTEs, they become very different businesses. And as a founder CEO, you just can't do it alone. And you need to build a leadership team to scale your business. So that first valley of death, the 10 FTEs, you really need a 2IC of some type, an operational person to assist you. Your processes have to change. The founder needs to hire a second in command. The business needs a fundamental change in how the founder runs it. Yeah, I can tell you now that Crystal, who's on the call, who's my executive assistant, we do different topics. We do a workshop every fortnight. She runs it all. In the background, Crystal does absolutely everything. I write the presentation. But once that's done, it's all remote control in my business. All of my content, I choose content. I choose when it goes up. Crystal does it all. It's no longer me doing this stuff. And I think that's the key mind shift that you guys as founders and CEOs need to change. So when you get to 25 employees, we get to the second valley of death. The company needs a CFO. Middle management becomes more critical. Intentionality in building a culture, your culture becomes more important. Passing 100 employees, another valley of death, a whole new internal communications plan. You can't interview every new employee. An internal communications plan is vital for alignment, company politics and egos come into play. Building the culture, getting the strategy right becomes absolutely critical for your role. Now, these are American numbers. What is really interesting is that, sorry, Jeannie, your comment about the renovation, my dogs are going off. One of our tradies has just arrived, so I apologize, guys, if you hear that. One of the really interesting things is I mapped these valleys of death onto companies in Mexico, in Europe, Germany, France, and one or two of the Scandinavian countries, and also onto Australia. The same percentages apply. Okay, that 4%, 0.4%, that they're the same in all these jurisdictions. The dollar amounts change, but the percentages and the number of FTEs are the same. Oops, I went too far. So here's the Australian numbers. This is 2015, 2016 stats. I haven't gone and updated them. We've probably got 2018 stats out there now. But look at the turnover up to $2 million. 96% of firms are in that area. And look at the number of FTEs per company, 1.09. 2 to 10 million, 3%. Okay, it's not quite 4, but it's very close. Above 10 million, 0.45. They're the same percentages. So there's some key lessons that can be learned here about this. I've got a presentation. Sorry, I've done a white paper on this and I'm very happy to share it if you throw a comment into chat and Chris will send it off to you. So I suppose the question is, why listen to me? If you don't know who I am or you haven't heard from me before, I'm getting a little bit touchy on that. Sorry, going back. I've been a CEO 4 times. I've been a NED, non-executive director of both public and private companies 5 times. I've coached up to 200 founders and CEOs. Where my sweet spot is at $1 to $2 million, scaling past 5, 10 to $20 million plus. I help founders and CEOs scale profitably, build high-performance teams, and strengthen their leadership, and also to help you get your life back. One of the key things, differences here about me is I've made the same mistakes you have and to go into. I've wasted tens of thousands of dollars on dashboards and BI tools and broke and never worked. And anyway, the point I'm making here is that loads of experience. I'm going to just quickly cover this. This is not a selling presentation. For those that know me, I run these every fortnight. I'll call it public service. What I do is about sharing and helping. I know that not everybody is going to buy from me, and I know that everybody is not ready to buy from me. But what I'm going to say is that this is a positioning. This is a teaching presentation, but it's also, if you would like to talk about coaching, mentoring going forward, we're going to offer you a complimentary game plan session at the end of the session. It's complimentary because it's about fit. Do you fit with me? And do I fit with you? There's one person on this call who I spoke to after the last session, and we're not quite ready. She's not quite ready for us at the moment, but will be in the future. If you'd like to take that opportunity up, please do. What I'd say to you is it's just not a people problem. Yeah, it's not just about staff missing deadlines. It's not about CEO firefighting. It's not about micromanagement and burnout. It actually is about all those things. And the result, I've got to fix that. The result, we're looking to build a predictable growth for your business and personal freedom and a legacy that lasts. So there are a couple of shifts that you guys need to go through to scale your business. The first one is going from firefighter to builder. This is changing your mindset from doing the work to building the team that does the work. Changing your mindset from doing the work yourself to building the team that does the work. The second one is from confusion to clarity, making accountability visible with real structure, not just an org chart. We're going to jump into all of these. Third one is build your A team, defining what great looks like, and you coaching your people to get there, and making the tough call perhaps to move someone if they're not now capable of growing with you. So these three shifts, when they work together, are what separates a business that depends on you from a business that runs without you. From a business that depends on you to a business that runs without you. Gina asked me the question about, or Christian, one of you asked me the question about how was last week. I was in Fiji managing a rugby tour for 10 days. This whole workshop was put together by my EA, Crystal. Like, I didn't do anything apart from set the date and give her the topic. That's the way I run my business. That's the way we need to get you to run your businesses. So let's start. CEO mindset shift number one, firefighter to builder. Your job isn't to do the work, it's to build a team that does the work for you. Your job isn't to do the work, it's to build a team that does the work. And Christian, I'm thrilled that Sam's on the call today. Most founder CEOs start the journey as firefighters, solving problems, plugging gaps, running fast in the chaos around them. But as your business grows, that mindset becomes the biggest bottleneck. You can't scale if you're the one putting out every fire. The shift from firefighter to builder is from being the hero who fixes things to being the leader who builds a team and systems that prevent those fires in the first place. Your job is not to do the work, it's to build the team that does it. Not to do the work, it's about building the team that does the work. So I just want you to think at the moment, how much time do you spend firefighting right now versus building? Drop a percentage in the chat. Gina, 100% firefighting. Thanks, Gina. What about the rest of you? How much time are you spending firefighting? If it's over 30%, there's real work to do. So shift number two, from confusion to clarity. This is about building accountability that drives results. If everybody owns it, no one owns it. There should always be a single person accountable for every key metric, every key initiative in the business. This is where most businesses break. I'm going to show you an accountability chart in a moment. It defines who owns what, not who reports to whom. When two people are accountable for the same thing, no one's accountable. Clear ownership equals faster decisions, fewer excuses, and better execution. That shift is about making accountability visible. Every seat, every role, every metric. Let me show you what it looks like. So this is an organization accountability chart for senior leaders. This is just one of, I have current count 57 playbooks, each of which has multiple tools and multiple example tools. I'm going to show you what that looks like later on. This is just one of the tools. If you look at this, it's a really simple thing. All my tools are very simple. They need to be easily executed on. So I want you to look at the instructions first. Identify the key functions of the company, because you're all in different industries, so you may have different functions. If I look at three people I've spoken to in the past, Harry, Christian, and Gina, they're all in three different industries. So they're going to have different functional accountabilities. Head of company, COO, marketing, sales, operations are reasonably generic. But we've got someone in the building industry, someone in the property management industry, someone in the consulting industry. They have different job functions in their business. So identify the key functions of the company. Name the person accountable for each function. So if you just look at those five, head of company, COO, marketing, sales, operations, who has more than one role? Yeah. Anthony, thank you. Christian, thank you. Yeah. We need to identify where you're sitting in more than one role. We need to identify if there's more than one person in a seat. If a person is in more than one seat, are there empty seats? And the really interesting question is, would you enthusiastically rehire them? Would you enthusiastically rehire all the people in the functions? And then we need to take your profit and loss, P&L, balance sheet, and cash flow accounting statements and assign a function to each line item. Okay? This is where a lot of the tires hit the road. By assigning, as an example, revenue to the head of sales, guess what? You've now got someone that you can coach and hold accountable for that piece. So in the functional accountability chart, functional role, personal accountability, what are the leading critical numbers, KPIs, and what are the results, outcomes, lagging KPIs? Does everybody understand leading, lagging? If you don't, just shove your hand up or put it in the chat that you don't. You all got it? Yeah, leading for a business development manager is that you would have how many real quality calls per week has your BDM done with your ideal client profile, and the lagging would be at the end of the month, how much revenue, activity versus results. Top 5 priorities for each function. Top 5 priorities for each function. Do you have a scorecard complete for each function? I'm going to show you a scorecard in a moment. And do you have a 90-day one-page plan complete? Each quarter, you should be having a short one-page plan for each function in your business, so they know exactly what they need to achieve. Okay, shift number 3 is that A players thrive on clarity. If you don't give it to them, you'll eventually lose them. What's an A player? An A player is someone who lives the values of the company on a score of 0 to 10, 8, 9, 10. They are living the values of the company every minute of the day. They are also high on productivity in their role, 8, 9, 10. So if you can imagine a square box, the top 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10 values and productivity, they're the A players. And they love the clarity and real targets. I'm going to cover a couple of things. The real cost of a bad hire. So this is done by Brad Smart from Top Grading, and Top Grading is one of the key pillars in the people side of things that I use. Research across 10,000 plus assessments in the US shows mishires cost a multiple of base salary. Upfront roles, 5 times. For managers, 15 times. For executives, 27 times. So think about that. $100,000 US mishire costs $565,000 when you add it up. This is compensation plus opportunity costs plus disruption plus hiring and severance. This is stats across 10,000 plus CEO assessments. So look, think about those numbers. If you bugger up your hiring, the cost is enormous. The consideration, though, is A players cost more. They cost 10 to 30% more, but they return 10x on results. These are, once again, those 10,000 stats. So you need to get over the sticker shock and stack your team with A players. High on values in the business, high on productivity in the role. So an A player is the best person that fit those 2 criteria that you can afford to hire. That you can afford to hire. Okay, so let's jump into a bit deeper here. Job scorecards. I don't talk position descriptions, I talk job scorecards. This is, once again, out of the top grading methodology. A job scorecard has 3 key pieces. The mission, why does the role exist, and what does success look like? Oh, sorry, I'm going to say something. I'll just jump back a bit. Of those 10,000 CEO assessments and leaders assessments, the company that used scorecards consistently achieved 90% A-player hiring rates. Those that did not achieved about 25% A-player hiring rate. So it's one of the key things in the top grading methodology and my methodology is we spend a lot of time getting the scorecards right up front and getting the hiring process and the interview process. We spend about 3 to 4 times more than the average company. My clients spend 3 to 4 times more than the average company going through the hiring process to make sure that we get it right. So the mission, 1 to 5 sentences on why this role exists and what success looks like at the highest level. Not tasks, but real outcomes. Accountabilities, these are 3 to 8 measurable outcomes with clear KPIs. Not managed marketing, something more, deliver 150 qualified leads per month at less than $50 cost per lead. Can you see the difference? Not managed marketing, a clear outcome. Deliver 150 qualified leads per month at less than $50 cost per lead. The third one is key competencies, the behaviors and capabilities needed to deliver on those outcomes. 5 to 8 role-specific competencies, plus 3 to 5 cultural competencies based on your core values. Now, what's really interesting here is Top Grading and Brad Smart actually did a huge amount of work, and they've come up with 52 different competencies that you can choose from. And they've classified them on the basis of red, yellow, green. Yeah. Are you able to change the person, that competency? Yeah. If they're dishonest, no, you can't. Or can you train someone productivity wise to increase the competency? So that's all built in the top grading methodology. Yeah, just a really quick case study here. How clarity fixes chaos. So a client of mine, before I started, hired a marketing manager, and they had the classic position description: manage the marketing function, increase marketing MQLs, but nothing, no measurable KPIs anywhere. So when I started talking to Phil about this, he had 2 people sharing sales and marketing accountability. One of whom was one of his sons, which made it even more difficult. Sam, you can close your ears. So son's doing the sales, marketing manager doing the marketing, sharing the accountability, both pointing fingers when revenue missed targets. Because once again, no one actually owned it. So what we did was we installed a single owner and we set objectives and how many leads at what price, etc. So put all of that in place. The end result was same business, same people, same market. The only thing we changed was clarity. Within 90 days, decisions sped up, lead flow doubled, and revenue consistency returned. Decisions sped up, lead flow doubled, revenue consistency returned. Okay. As soon as that we showed them who owns what and what great looks like, we had a significant shift. Make sense? Okay. So the performance zones. What we're going to do in a moment, we're actually going to do a bit of work. We're actually going to give you an AI prompt to allow you to judge your people. But what we're looking for here is A players, high performing in the green quadrant. Okay. If you look at along the bottom is productivity in their role, on the side is how they live the core values of the business. If someone is 8.5 plus on living the core values and 8.5 plus in productivity in their role, we classify them as an A player. Okay. Once again, we're going to give you a copy of this presentation. A B player, and so an A player is high performing. A B player is medium performing on productivity and all values. Now, when someone joins your business and you hire, they will always be a B player because they don't know your systems, your processes, your strategy, etc. And it's going to take them a while to be on board and brought up to scratch. I like to think that initially, once we get going, we end up with about 80%. Our target is 80% A players, 20% B players. But as you guys get better, that A player, we're working up to 90%. Anybody that is low on productivity, so that's the 2 sort of reddish boxes, top left and middle left, they're low producing. Anybody who is low on values or cultural fit, these people are toxic C players, low cultural fit. And The interesting thing is that bottom right-hand box is where most of your trouble will come from. The toxic C player. This is the salesperson who is really good at what they do, but who'll screw anybody over to get the business. So just bear with me, I'm just moving. Oops. What we're looking to do in a period of time is to leave your business only with B players and A players, and to coach and mentor your B players to become A players. Does that make sense? Yeah. So let's, oops, sorry. How do you score your team? Guys, there is a full-on playbook we're going to give you about how to do this. Okay, so you don't need to take major notes. And we're going to actually give you a tool and a worked example of what this looks like. Productivity score, how well are they delivering against their KPIs? And cultural fit value score, how consistently do they live your core values? In the playbook, we will give you strategies to how to handle each different category. So this is all about lifting your standards and building your capability within your business. You can't scale a $10 million plus business with B player habits and with B players. A players thrive in clarity and accountability in systems. Coaching turns potential into performance, and structure turns pressure into progress. Your role as CEOs and founders, you don't build a great company. You build great people and they build the company. Let's say that again. You don't build a great company. You build great people and they build the company. Okay. One KPI for the CEO and all leaders. At least 80% of the leadership team are A players. At least 80% of the leadership team are A players. That's for you and your leadership team and their direct reports. This is the one thing that drives everything. And it's the one thing that CEOs and founders generally are not good at. And I'll give you an example. A client of mine joined me in late October. Day one, we identified she's about $5 million revenue, 25 staff. Day one, we identified she had problems with two of her direct reports. They just weren't, either productivity wasn't right or values and productivity wasn't right. I ended up having a WhatsApp conversation with her last week where I got quite in her face about the fact that she was continuing to put off having the difficult conversation. She'd done all the work, we'd taken on HR specific advice about how to handle it. She was all prepared. She had the new scorecards ready, all of that, but she just wasn't, just couldn't make it happen. So last Monday, while watching the team play a game, I'm WhatsApping her, and I finally said, you just need to do it. And so she had the conversation on Wednesday. She flew up from Melbourne to Sydney, had the conversation with these two executives, and essentially told them, look, it's not working. It hasn't been working for a long time. It's time to help you exit with dignity. And I think that's one of the critical things here. The company had outgrown their capabilities. It's time to help you exit with dignity. And she had a very forthright conversation with both these senior executives. Both understood and appreciated the way she spoke to them and how she communicated it to them. The next morning, I got a text saying, I've had the best night's sleep in 3 years. The best night's sleep in 3 years. And it was interesting. The thing that really got her over the line, yeah, I've been coaching and talking to her, but I have a thing called office hours every Tuesday where my clients can dial in with a question. And it turned out the week before I went away, I had, I think it was 8 or 9 of my CEO clients on that call. And we opened it up to the CEOs as to what they would do. And that coaching mentoring from 9 other CEOs and me was what got her over the line to make the hard call. And now she's working on the business. Now she's doing the scorecards. She and I sat down yesterday and worked out what the most important hire was, the new hire was, how we would restructure the marketing and sales group, how we would, like we did a full-on plan with a timeline for how she can move this thing forward. So let's go back. One KPI for the CEO and all leaders. At least 80% of your team are A players. Righto. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do an exercise. How many of you don't use AI at the moment? Or how many of you do use it? Yes, no? What I'd like, Craig, Anthony, do you use AI? Yep. I'd like you to open your AI of choice, please. Okay. Crystal, can you upload into the chat the talent assessment playbook? I see that there, the actual worked example and the AI prompt. Can you put those in there, please? I don't care which one you use. Out of interest, I've moved from ChatGPT to Claude, but I also have paid accounts with Gemini and Notebook LM. I use multiple. So open your AI of choice, and I want you to, Crystal has just put in an AI prompt. If you can copy that into your AI, and then upload also in the chat, there is a talent assessment playbook. If you can upload that into the AI together with I think Crystal's pasted that in the AI prompt in there in 3 sections. So you want to copy the 3 sections in, upload the playbook, upload the tool example, which Crystal's putting in. I think you've got that, Crystal. There it is. Now there's the playbook. You okay, Christian? I can't hear. Okay, so upload the AI prompt, upload the playbook, and upload the talent assessment tool. And then press go. A real big hint here, guys. Dictation is much quicker than typing. I use an app called Whisperflow, WISPR Flow. Your AI will have a microphone you can use. These AI prompts are structured that if you look at it, what happens is we upload the IP first and foremost. The second thing is act as a panel of expert advisors. So in this case, I've chosen Jim Collins, Patrick Lencioni, Mike Goldman, who I know very well. He's just written a great book with The Strength of Talent, and me. Upload the IP. Ask me one question at a time about each person. Pick one person to start within your team. It will ask you about their role, responsibilities, results, outcomes over the last 90 days, alignment with core values. Are they consistently hitting KPIs, etc.? It will then rate the person. And for every B or C player, push me to the side, run the 8-question diagnostic. That's actually in the playbook. Notice I've said do not accept vague answers. If I say they're improving, ask what specifically. So it will ask you specific questions. And then once we've worked through the whole team, you won't do that now. It will give you some ratings. What I'm going to give you is 8 minutes. Let's just start with one person in your team. Does anybody have any questions that you'd like clarified? All understand that? Okay, go. I'll be here sitting quietly while you do the work.
Okay.
How do we download this?
How are we going, guys? Got a bit more time? Okay. Michael, is that working for you? Yeah. Christian? You on mute, Christian.
Sorry, I'm still working through it.
Okay. How's Sam coming up? How's Samuel coming up on your assessment?
I've decided to do it on somebody else. I thought I'll keep the peace between me and him for the rest of the day.
Okay. We might just come back to the presentation and I'll let you guys finish that afterwards. What you'll find though, spend an hour and a half on that, you'll get a very good view on your team and it will also give you a plan. Okay. So let's just, and the key thing after this is that you go into a coaching plan and that will come out of the AI prompt. The three mistakes that keep CEOs stuck. The first thing is no clarity. If there are unclear expectations, that equals no accountability. If people don't know what great looks like, they can't deliver it. They don't know what great looks like, they can't deliver it. Mistake number two is no cadence. Coaching has to happen. Oh, sorry. Generally, when we start with a new client, coaching is happening randomly, not rhythmically. A conversation every few months isn't coaching, it's hoping. So leadership team, you should be having a one-on-one with each of your leadership team at least every fortnight, as an example. Formal coaching plan for every member of staff every quarter. And mistake number three is no courage. If leaders delay tough calls, it breeds mediocrity. Okay, look at Michael nodding. Yeah. If you tolerate B player performance, you teach your A players to leave. If you tolerate B player performance, you're actually teaching your A players to leave. And I think the key thing here is you don't build a great company, you build great people, and they build the company. You don't build a great company, you build great people, and they build the company with you. So with clear structure, clear roles, and A players in every seat, you stop being the bottleneck. And that's how you get your life back. I'll just jump through that. I just want to tell you a quick story. One of my newer clients, Craig, joined me in about November after one of these workshops. We've been working together 2.5 months, and a couple of weeks ago, he just said to me that he's increased his revenue by $250,000 in 2.5 months working with me. Yeah, we'd sat down and he'd done his vivid vision, his 3-year winning moves, the 3 to 5 things that each will double your revenue or profit, his leader's intent. So he had total clarity in his own mind and also total clarity his team has, and built his CEO dashboard and the team structure. So doing what we've just done today that you're doing and then building the scorecards. It ended up $250,000 more revenue in 2.5 months. True story. Not magic strategy, just clarity on people, structure, and priorities. And his team stepped up. So the things you've learned today are part of that system. And combined with a full system, that's when real acceleration happens. So let me show you what that looks like. This is, and once again, this is in the presentation, so you get to see. This is the framework that I use to help my clients go from 1 to 2, 3, past 5, past 10, and past $20 million. At the bottom, clarity and plan. On the left-hand side, team and build, and the right-hand side, scale and profit. Where we've been looking at today is on that left-hand side, there are 3 green boxes, and we've just touched on the middle green box, A player leadership at every seat. So see that middle green box, A player leadership at every seat. Sorry. In this framework, in this triangle model, there are currently 57 playbooks. Now you've just been given one of the playbooks and you've been given the tool and the example. So imagine there are 56 more of these things. And the key change from where I was 6 months ago compared to where I am now is how I'm using AI to accelerate the process. So we're on the team build. Now within the team build, these are the playbooks that are in that one in the one section. So if you look at A player 2.2, A player leadership team at every seat, in there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different playbooks and tools and example tools. So top grading and job scorecards, hiring, the anti-sell you understand when you see it, feedback framework in the 5 A's, talent assessment, attraction and recruitment, difficult conversations, and firing well. That's just in the A player leadership. Now, if we then look inside that, here's the top grading and job scorecards. This is the next stage after you finished the work you're doing today. And once again, there's a playbook, a tool, and an example, and that's the case for every single one of the playbooks. I also have lots of examples of scorecards for CEOs and marketing managers and sales managers, etc. What does a playbook look like? As it turns out, you've got one of those. So Crystal uploaded the playbook for you, and you can go through that, and it gives you the theory, it gives you success criteria, it tells you how to do it, it tells you what to avoid, and it will give you the AI prompt. And then finally, it will also give you a tool, and it will give you an example tool completed. So the whole idea of the way I built this and the AI prompts is to accelerate you through a process. Coming to the end, and we'll go to Q&A in a moment. I reckon you've got two choices now. The option 1 is do nothing different. Go back to the same meetings, the same foggy numbers, the same firefighting, hope that clarity appears on its own. It won't. And I'm sure you already know that. Option 2 is to decide deliberately. Take what you started today and turn it into something real. Do the assessment of your team. Use the AI, and remember, the AI is being fed by the IP and by the thought leaders. Use the AI to come up with a plan for each of your people. Number 1, to categorize where they are. Number 2, to build a coaching plan. Use that tool in the AI to give you the clarity and control. And build the rhythm. This is something you should be doing every quarter, guys. And look, option 1, it's not failure, it's drift. You stay busy, you stay reactive. Another year passes faster than expected. Option 2 is a decision. It's a commitment to clarity. I get that not all of you will be ready for coaching from me, but at least use the tool and a playbook and the AI accelerator to get you going. Now I'm running every fortnight. I'm running a different workshop. Keep coming to them. Learn. If you're not ready now, just keep learning. Okay. Crystal has just put in the chat a link to book a complimentary 30-minute game plan session with me. We're very happy to have a chat with you and help you build your game plan going forward. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think what we'll do now is throw conversation open to questions, but please book a complimentary game plan session just by clicking on that Calendly link, and I'd love to have a chat with you. Any questions, guys? Anything that's standing out there that you'd like some clarity on, so you'd like some support with? How are you going, Michael? It's been a while since we've spoken.
Yeah, good. I'll book in another 30-minute chat, and then I might
good.
go through a few
Yeah,
things.
I'm interested to hear where you've taken it over the last 3 to 4 months. Christian?
Look, I'm still working through it. I don't think I may have done it properly, so I may need some further help on that. For me, this is the second session I've done with you, and just in the 2 sessions that we've had, the 30-minute call, it has given me so much tool. It's opened up a whole new world of growth that I need to move into. But definitely with this exercise, I may need help because I would like to do this properly, because I need to do that with all of our leadership team.
Yeah. Is Samuel still there? How's he feeling?
Yeah.
Like I said, it's opened a whole new world as well for me, especially running the sales and property management departments. And you have a mix of personalities, and it's also given me a lot of food for thought on who my B players are and who my A players are. But also, I think you said something that really got to me was build great people, not company. That's how they will grow their company. And I think that's what I want to build is great people, not a great company. So it really did resonate with me, that sentence.
Cool. That's great. Thank you. How you going, Gemma?
Yeah, it's pretty. Hang on a second, I'll just start my video. Look, I'm right into the AI, so I think you combining your experience with the AI tools, I think is magic. And I love what you're giving us. Looking forward to working together in the future.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Guys, any other questions? Anthony, Ken, Harry?
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. Not for the moment for me, but look forward to having a chat, connecting separately.
Yeah, super.
Thank you.
I hope that's been very helpful to you all.
Yeah, I think I'd like to add, it's really hard sometimes, like you you don't really know if they're A players, B players. So at least this is breaking it down, and it's getting us to break it into little components and let it decide whether it's an A or B, because it's easier to say they're A players or B players until you start to really dig into the different roles.
Yeah, it is. And the really interesting thing, Gina, is looking back at the screen with my triangle model, the framework, a lot of the issues tend to be 1 or 2 steps before. That makes sense. Building an organizational structure that fits your strategy, as you and I talked the other week, to work out if they're A and B players, you need to work out what your organizational structure is. And you need to therefore understand your strategy first. And a lot of this stuff, the root cause of the problems actually stem, as what you and I discussed, 1 or 2 steps before classifying them. And we had a classic conversation the other day with one of my clients where classifying his team members and leaders as A or B players or C players, but in fact he had the wrong people totally for the strategy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where the whole framework fits in.
I'll give you an example. I thought one of my people were like A players, and then I started answering the questions, and then I realized that they are majority A players, but there's a core element which they are not an A player in, which is affecting the entire team, and that is about communication, right?
Yeah.
So they do everything great except communicate, which is breaking down the whole system, and which can really demote that person from an A player to a C player, because if the whole team is affected by that one trait, especially if they're in a leadership role. Yeah, so that was really good to see.
Yeah. No, thank you for that insight. Harry, are you still there? How are you?
Sorry, Jonathan, I'm good. I was working intently on the AI tool that you provide. The prompt is just superb, and it just keeps asking one question. It's quite absorbing.
Yeah.
All good. This is very, very helpful.
Oh, good. The interesting thing about that prompt. So if you think about the prompt, choose a panel of experts. A lot of people say say, I want an expert in accounting. Okay. The problem is it then goes looking for everybody that says it's an expert in accounting. And they could be anybody from anywhere by identifying a panel of individual experts. So one of the things that you don't see behind the scenes with me, as an example, is that I have built up these 56 playbooks and tools, etc., and they're available behind the scenes on the web. So when I put myself in there as one of the experts, it's drawing on all of my knowledge, all of my CEO interviews, 130 plus, all of my 280 blogs, etc. It's drawing on all my knowledge. So having the right person or people as your expert panel, then the right IP, and then that key one, ask me one question at a time. One of my clients, we were working on one of his winning moves the other day, and 79 questions later and 5 hours later, like he was brain fried. But what it had come up with as a strategic winning move for 3 years was just, number one, he hadn't thought about it and just fundamentally changed his business and helped him execute. So the one question at a time is a really interesting one. Okay, guys, any questions before I go? Nope. Let's call it a day. Thanks for your attendance. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. The next time we're going to jump in, Crystal will send something out starting tomorrow, but we're going to jump into how to assess your company for exit readiness. How to assess your company for exit readiness. Because one of the things about founders and CEOs is the only reason we have a company is to generate cash or eventually to sell it. What we want to be doing is building your company ready for exit readiness now, not in 3 years' time when you decide to go and actually put it on the market and set up an auction. By the way, that last comment's really important. One of my mentors, Vern Harnish, author of Scaling Up, who recruited me to be a coach back in 2016, I put a post up this morning. The key destroyer of enterprise value is not setting up an auction for when you sell the business. If you only have one bidder, you'll get significantly, like he gave the example of one company that was looking for an exit and they were at 7%. As soon as they opened it up for an auction, they got 25 times valuation. So keep that one in mind, an auction if you decide to sell. So the next one I'll introduce you to a survey to see how exit ready you are. And that'll lead to all the strategies. Okay. Thanks, Linesman. Thanks, Ball Boys, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.
Thank you.